Hello guys, welcome to the Alrasta channel. In this episode, I will explain the storyline of the series SwallowedStar, episode 165. In the previous episode, Luofeng traveled to Wulong Starfield and was met by King Longju to buy insect race corpses. After the sale and purchase agreement had been approved, Luofeng, guided by two of King Longju's subordinates, searched the location where the insect corpses were stored. However, all of this was known to the spies of the Insect Queen, so they began planning to kill Luofeng while he was inspecting the unit he had purchased. However, Casey was seen as a supervisor in the control room who was secretly following Luofeng. When the two guides beside Luofeng did not know that the person in front of him was an insect race spy, they both quickly died at the hands of Casey and then attacked Luofeng. What happened after that? Okay. Instead of going on and on, let's just get to the story. Still located at Wulong Starfield, Dylan and King Longju are currently traveling to Luofeng's location. However, the journey will take 90 seconds for them to arrive at the scene. At Luofeng's current level, it is impossible for him to survive the fight because the figure he is facing is at the Immortal level. For Luofeng himself, the battle was still going on between them, with Casey starting to launch attacks on him. Dylan hoped that his master could still survive, but it seemed too difficult for Luofeng to do, because his Yanshan weapon was unable to withstand fire attacks with such immortal-level power. In the end, Luofeng had to take the attack directly. However, Luofeng utilized his final strategy, unleashing the golden-horned behemoth monster mode precisely when needed. Seeing this, Casey finally realized that there was a golden-horned behemoth monster protecting Luofeng. Even so, he still underestimated the ability of the monster because it was only at the World Master level. When the golden-horned behemoth monsters began to launch an attack, a fierce battle ensued between them. In that battle, it could be said that Casey's power was indeed terrifying. What's more, this was the first time Luofeng had felt the power of the laws of the universe from a figure at the Immortal level, and even Luofeng's metal domain power could not withstand the attack. Here, Luofeng would use another method, which was to create domain power in the form of his inner world projection into the real world to maximize the power of the stronger metal origin law. Finally, after Luofeng projected his inner world to all the battle locations, Casey, with a slight smile, was not afraid. For warriors at the Immortal level, creating domain power is not the ultimate technique for defeating an opponent. The projection domain of Luofeng was capable of withstanding Casey's power, but it was all in vain against the Immortal warrior's physical prowess. When the golden-horned behemoth monster attacked again, Casey easily counterattacked and knocked the monster's body away. When Luofeng was knocked down, Luofeng immediately unleashed the second-level World of Skills technique, firing a golden laser at Casey. Not only that, Luofeng also used a technique to strengthen the innate power of the golden-horned behemoth monster, with an attack from the creature's wings that instantly hit Casey. Using these two combined techniques, Luofeng successfully fired a large golden laser at Casey, causing a significant explosion. After feeling the attack from Luofeng, Casey was surprised by Luofeng's sudden tenfold increase in strength. However, even so, Casey did not want to give up just like that. He immediately unleashed the Thousand Flames Fist technique aimed at Luofeng, which for a moment sent the golden-horned monster crashing down and caused the entire battle area to explode, along with the collapse of Luofeng's inner world projection technique. And once again, Casey attacked back brutally. With arrogance, he boasted of his immortal powers that Luofeng would be unable to fight against and made a combination attack of fire tornado techniques and consecutive punches at Luofeng. However, that was sufficient for Luofeng to protect himself, as it was now time for him to unleash his true power. And now, Luofeng will use the Blood River technique, combined with the power of the Beast God statue, to deliver the ultimate attack. With these two technique combinations, Luofeng's Sky Claw attack technique instantly inflicted fatal wounds on Casey. When Casey felt the strength of Luofeng's attack, he realized that it was thousands of times stronger than the peak of the World Master level in general. But Casey was not easy to give up. He shot his fists at the monster's head. But it all couldn't last long because Luofeng, with his powerful claw attacks, made each of his attacks appear in rapid succession from the space cracks. Casey still hasn't fallen, which surprised Luofeng. How could he not be able to defeat a warrior at the ordinary immortal level, even though Luofeng had used all his trump cards? On the other hand, Casey was also surprised. How could he not be able to defeat Luofeng, who was at the World Master level, even though he himself was at the immortal level? Casey, who felt pressured by MC's overpowering strength, also felt that Luofeng's golden-horned power was a pest to him that he could not penetrate with his own attacks. If Casey received assistance from the human race, it would spell disaster for him. There wouldn't be another opportunity to murder Luofeng if he couldn't do it now. So here, Casey made a risky decision to commit suicide and blow up his body when he was crushed by the two hands of the golden-horned behemoth. And boom! It is explained that if an early-stage immortal level who is hundreds of millions of years old detonates himself, the force of the explosion is equivalent to a supernova explosion that instantly destroys the civilization of an entire galaxy. And this is what Luofeng experienced as he felt his entire body destroyed while holding back the suicide explosion. On the other hand, King Longju and Dylan, who were on the spaceship, were also surprised by the violent explosion and made the crew run around to maintain the ship's systems. Returning to the rest of the battle after the explosion, Luofeng, in his Mosha mode, emerged through the burnt corpses of the insect race. So why did Luofeng survive the explosion? Before fighting Casey with the body of the golden-horned behemoth monster, Luofeng used his Mosha mode to disguise himself as a purple needle and took the core of life out of the fight. Because Luofeng's core of life was completely safe, there was still hope for the reconstruction of the golden-horned behemoth's burnt body. From all these events, Luofeng wondered, how could there be an enemy figure who was willing to sacrifice himself, even though he had never been with Casey? But when Luofeng took the initiative to report the incident to the Virtual Universe Company, Babata suddenly came over, hit Luofeng on the head, and suggested that he think of the best way to explain it to King Longju. Given the previous events, it was unfeasible for Luofeng, limited to Domain Master Level 9, to confront the Immortal level until he committed suicide. If this matter were investigated, the fact that Luofeng defeated the Immortal enemy with the body of the golden-horned behemoth monster would be revealed. Because he didn't want the fact to be exposed, Babata also gave him the world ring that he got from buying a special track to strengthen Luofeng's alibi later. Not only does it have a large storage space, but the ring can also hide and store objects of living things. To deceive the investigation, Luofeng needed to create a convincing alibi to escape any accusations. Not long after, Longju's ship arrived at its destination, followed by Dylan, who was there, worried and asking about Luofeng's condition. But he's not an MC if he can't handle it when the realm above him has fallen, guys. Not far away, there was also King Longju and his 10 subordinates. Upon entering the ship, Luofeng proceeded to recount the incident's chronology, a narrative that turned out to be a fabrication. It was believed that Luofeng's abilities would not be sufficient to fight Casey. But fortunately, he was carrying the World Ring, which contained the figure of a warrior who protected Luofeng at the World Master level. Upon hearing this, King Longju was taken aback by Luofeng's deception, but the question that arose was how could a World Master figure be able to fight an Immortal? Luofeng clarified that his guard had unexpectedly approached Casey and instantly detonated a fire crystal. Luofeng also explained that he got the fire crystal technology from the robot race, which has an explosive power equivalent to the explosion of a suicide warrior at the Immortal level. So in the incident, Luofeng's bodyguard and Casey died instantly at the same time. It was thanks to the sacrifice of Luofeng's bodyguard that he was able to survive the assassination attempt. After hearing Luofeng's alibi, King Longju felt that he had been negligent in managing the internal security of Wulong Starfield, which put Luofeng's life in danger. Therefore, as one of the leaders at Wulong Starfield, King Longju decided to compensate Luofeng with 300 units of Insect Clan corpses. Hearing this, Babata was immediately overjoyed, and Luofeng was also very happy to hear it. But unfortunately, the good news was not 100% realized because 2 members of King Longju and Casey had died, who were likely to get into a little trouble. Hearing this, Dylan was indignant and questioned how Luofeng could be in trouble. King Longju explained that in this case, there was no evidence, so it was possible that Luofeng would be suspected of having killed the 3 guards. Although the murdered parties were from the same party as the Virtual Universe Company, it would be different if it were related to Wulong Starfield, which had 5 big organizations and 5 supervisors. As for the other 4 parties, they will not necessarily side with the Virtual Universe Company, especially King Yanju, who comes from the huge Axe Dojo organization, which has almost the same power as the Virtual Universe Company in Wulong Starfield. Plus, he himself has a great background and is most dominant at the management level at Wulong Starfield, and he is also the person with the most voting power in decision-making processes. Not long after, King Yanju arrived at the location, spreading his charm in the meeting room. Upon seeing King Yanju's arrival, Luofeng politely greeted him right away. King Yanju immediately inquired about Luofeng's status as a disciple of Emperor Zhenyan. On the other hand, King Longju also interrupted the conversation by answering that Luofeng in front of him was an elite genius from the Virtual Universe Company, so it was only natural that Luofeng was on the list of targets hunted by the foreign race. But luckily, Luofeng was able to survive the incident, and the case could also be resolved as soon as possible, said King Longju. However, King Yanju still didn't trust Luofeng here because of the possibility that there were other motives for killing the 3 guards from the start. And the biggest motive was that Luofeng killed the 3 guards to steal a large number of insect race corpses. Hearing this, Luofeng, who wanted to interrupt the conversation to defend himself, was immediately thrown away by King Yanju's power and was immediately restrained by Dylan. Seeing this, Dylan immediately put himself in position to protect Luofeng. On the other hand, King Longju advised King Yanju to stop the investigation, but the advice was immediately rejected by King Yanju because it was the explosion that caused the destruction of millions of Hunyuan units in Wulong Starfield. And even if Wulong's internal party was negligent, or there were spies, or it was a hidden motive of Luofeng, who deliberately looked for an opportunity to set this trap. In light of these detrimental events, King Yanju ordered all responsible parties at Wulong Starfield to investigate the truth. As a result of the votes that have been collected, the 5 leaders at Wulong Starfield 3 are King Danian from Universe First Bank, King Chengyu from Universe Star River Bank, and King Yingei from Universe Mercenary Alliance. These 3 parties in charge have agreed to conduct further investigations. Of the 5 votes, only King Longju has not yet made a decision. On the other hand, Luofeng suspected that these events had been planned by King Yanju, who had prepared everything and had held a meeting with the other person in charge at Wulong Starfield. Luofeng's keen instincts led him to suspect that King Yanju deliberately intended to fight him. Not long after, King Longju, who did not want to make matters worse, had no choice but to agree that the case would be continued and reinvestigated. Thereafter, King Yanju immediately pulled Luofeng back and blocked his movement for interrogation. On the other hand, Dylan, who wanted to pull Luofeng from King Yanju's grasp, was stopped by King Longju. He asked Dylan to calm down because King Longju would guarantee Luofeng's safety and ensure justice for Luofeng. In the interrogation, King Yanju asked for the results of the preliminary investigation report. The report stated that Casey had killed 2 other internal members and also wanted to kill Luofeng on the spot. And when Luofeng managed to put up a fight, Casey showed his trump card by showing his true power at the Immortal level. Unable to fight back, Luofeng summoned his guards in Luofeng's world ring and blew up the fire crystal to kill Casey. Then King Yanju immediately asked and wanted to confirm directly from Luofeng's mouth whether all these events had really happened. Luofeng also emphasized that it did happen. Well, even though Luofeng was actually lying a little, guys. Then King Yanju suspiciously asked where Luofeng bought the fire crystal from and if there was proof of payment from the bank. But before getting an answer, Luofeng asked King Yanju to release his grip. After King Yanju released his grip, Luofeng replied that the fire crystal he had did not have proof of payment. Upon hearing this, King Yanju thought it was impossible and thought it was all just Luofeng's imagination. However, all of King Yanju's arguments were refuted by the evidence that there were various ways to obtain treasure, namely through adventure or by buying it at the headquarters of alien races with an independent payment system. The lack of proof of payment doesn't imply that nothing belongs to Luofeng, including the E9 class laser weapon he acquired on Devil Mountain. In fact, even though he could not find proof of payment, the fact that the weapon held by Luofeng was undeniable was proof enough. Because he would rather not give up, King Yanju asked, and was curious about where Luofeng's bodyguard came from. He also asked about Luofeng's bodyguard's background information. Babata quickly searched for the right data for Luofeng. After the report was shown before King Yanju, Taiwu, who had been Luofeng's bodyguard, was finally successfully conquered by him when he accepted the mission. In fact, many of the deals Luofeng got were not recorded in the system. Not giving up, King Yanju also asked how Luofeng, who was in the Master Domain, was able to subdue warriors at the World Master level, who even sacrificed themselves for Luofeng. With his sharp gaze, Luofeng explained that he had mastered the soul control technique and the soul-sealing oath technique. Hearing this, King Yanju was surprised to hear the name of the technique, and he automatically also knew that it came from the destroyed planet Yunmo. In the flashback scene before the ship of King Longju arrived, Babata had already instructed the right answer for Luofeng later. Luofeng had to reveal himself as either the successor from the planet Yunmo or a disciple of Huyan Bo. Babata had also considered this because of Luofeng's current abilities and status, which had a lower risk level than in the past. After all, Babata didn't want to see the successor of her master caught by the Wulong party for keeping the secret. Returning to the interrogation scene, here Luofeng confidently shows evidence that he has the Yunmo ship that was inherited from Huyanbo. After showing all the evidence, King Longjue laughed and insisted that all these incidents were a misunderstanding. However, none of this made King Yanju give up, and he chose the path of violence to suppress Luofeng. Quickly, he activated the soul search technique to see Luofeng's memories. However, thanks to Luofeng's Void Pagoda, the technique was unable to penetrate Luofeng's soul defenses. That's why King Yanju advised Luofeng to release his soul defenses to show him all his memories. When the intensity of the soul-searching technique began to increase, the core silhouette of Luofeng's life and the moment when Casey blew himself up were seen. Subsequently, Luofeng unexpectedly ventured into the illusory world of the Void Pagoda, where he unexpectedly reunited with his earthly comrades. If you remember, the 5 Earth heroes had sacrificed themselves by strengthening the Void Pagoda, which attacked the soul of the golden horned behemoth monster. The dramatic encounter ended with a respectful greeting to Luofeng. So, was Luofeng able to overcome the problems he faced? Okay, that's the explanation from SwallowedStar in episode 165 this time, guys. Thanks for those of you who have watched it to the end, and don't forget to support us by subscribe, like, and comment. Final words from me. Bye.
你若再不说实情，我就叫你开口言诸王。我乃第一星域王，不怕你。妹妹问此雾龙星域为何保护不力，我如何信不缺乏？你竟然再三责问我，这不是求生的细胞都在沸腾。关于刺杀我的客情，是上人的命令，竟敢质疑蜂王不行，可有探查到什么线索？主机销毁。够了！